To Frosty here, the IPA guy, where we try all the best IPAs from around the country, and we give them a score from 1 to 10. Today's recommendation comes from Danny Nguyen from Southgate, California, recommending the Amarilla Gorilla West Coast IPA from Smog City Brewery in Torrance, California. So you know what? Let's give this one a pour, a sniff, a sip, and a score, and see what we think. So, already poured it. Had a little bit of a mishap, so we're kind of halfway through it. So, a little bit of drama today, people. A little blast from the past. Kind of gonna age myself. Gonna tell a little bit of secrets about somebody. So my accountant calls me today and he says, "Hey Frosty, there's this line item on your balance sheet. It's a notes payable. It's an old thing that's been lingering there for a while. And it's an old note from Robert Van Winkle." And he said, "Who's Robert Van Winkle?" And I said, "Well, interesting. That's a blast from the past." So I said, that's Vanilla Ice." So a little bit of history there. I met him in the late 80s. I'll go into that in a second. And my accountant calls me and says, what's this? And I said, well, when he was not doing so well, he called me up. I was a good friend of his. He said, "Frosty, can you, loan me some money to buy a Cadillac?" So I did. So he buys a Cadillac, and I never got the money back. So I totally forgot about it. And, it's kind of like, I kind of look what he's doing right now. He's got this renovation show in Florida. He's doing pretty well. So, I called him today and he didn't pick up. So anyway, we're gonna deal with that. But we go way back. I met Robert Van Winkle, aka Vanilla Ice, back in the late 80s before I got a scholarship to college in the East Coast and moved there. But we were living in Texas. I got him a job delivering pizzas with me in high school. And funny story, we were drag racing. I think it was 1988. We were drag racing, and he was very braggadocious. Very braggadocious. He had an 82 280ZX turbo, and I had a 1985 iRock with the T-tops, the tune port injection. Anyway, blew his doors off. I beat him so bad. He gets pulled over by the police and gets arrested that night. You can look that up. That is, Frosty's not making that up. You can look it up. It was 1988. He gets arrested. That was for drag racing. It's pretty funny. Anyway, I felt kind of bad. So we delivered pizzas together, and he was kind of a weirdo. So he would walk around and making pizzas or cleaning the place and be singing these songs. He had this song. He goes, "Frosty, I'm working on this song." And I said, "Well, let me hear it." So he starts singing it, whatever. And he was stuck. He was what was it? It was "To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal." And then the next line he was "Light up the stage, I grab a broom by the handle." Because he's sweeping the floor. He's like a weirdo. And I said, "Dude, that's terrible." So he started doing a thing, and he goes, "To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal." I said, "Bob, here's what you do. You say, I light up the stage, I wax a chump like a candle." And, he stole my line. Guy stole my line and makes $1 million, whatever, whatever. So didn't worry about it. So anyway, you fast forward to now. He gets all the notoriety, he gets all famous. Then he loses everything, and he calls me up. He says, "Frosty, can I borrow some money for a Cadillac?" I said, "You know what, Bobby? You're a good buddy of mine." I gave him the money. He buys a Cadillac. Totally forget about it. Until now, I get a call today, and you know what? He never paid me back. So, anyway, I'm trying to get a hold of him. He's ghosting me, but we'll figure it out. I got some more stories in a second. You know, let's get to the review and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. All right. Ooh, a little bit more here. You know, I'm kind of dragging on. Oh, I don't know if you see Mookie here. Spike Lee has not picked up his dog yet. Still very upset about the New York Knicks losing Game 6. He knocked on the door that night, rang the doorbell. I didn't pick it up because I knew that poor Mookie was going to spend a night in the box. And he's very superstitious. Not Mookie, Spike Lee. So I didn't answer the door, and he's been here ever since, and I haven't heard from him, so we'll figure it out. So he's a good dog. I ran out of vegan turtle treats or whatever they were, so I've been giving him just regular chicken or whatever. Anyway, so let's get back to the review. All right. Smog City Brewery Amarilla Gorilla Tropical West Coast IPA. Let's check the color. Ooh, that's Frosty's color. That's a beautiful, beautiful West Coast precious metal gold color. Let's check the aroma. Okay. It's very nice, very tropical, very fruity. Let's give it a taste and see what we think. Oh, okay. It's a little odd. It's a very good beer, but it's a little bit strange. It's definitely they call it a tropical West Coast. It's not a West Coast, people. It's not very bitter, not at all. IBUs are very low. I would guesstimate the IBUs are less than 50 for sure. It is tropical, very nice. It's very fruity, a little bit of mango, a little bit of pine. Bigfoot, Sasquatch pine. You know, Frosty loves that pine. Reminds me of my younger days in the Pacific Northwest. That's pretty nice. Anyway, it's pretty good. It's not going to be in the 8s. It'll be in the 7s, probably somewhere. The color is very nice. Beautiful precious metal gold. The aroma is very nice. A little bit of funk, not skunk. A little bit of funk. You know, Frosty loves that funk. It's nice and tropical. A little bit fruity. The flavor is tropical fruity, but just, it's not great. It's not bad. It's not a bad IPA, but it's just not that great. Definitely not a West Coast. I don't know why they call it a West Coast. They call it a tropical West Coast, but anyway, it's not that great. So I'm gonna give it a score. It's not gonna be in the 8s, it's probably in the 7s. Getting back to Robert Van Winkle, my old buddy. It's funny. It said he gets all this success. He calls me up, I think it was in the early 90s, and he's like, Frosty, I got a chance to make this movie. I'm like, what? He's like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of Ooze. I'm like, dude, just it's money. Just take the check and just do it, whatever. It's pretty funny. Anyway, so fast forward, he's, not doing much, calls me up, Frosty, I'm broke. Gotta respect my image. I need to borrow some money to buy a Cadillac. Give him the money for a Cadillac. I said, hey, this is a loan, okay? Never pays me back, totally forget about it. Now he's doing pretty good. He's renovating houses in Florida, he's making some money. So my accountant calls me today and says, what are you gonna do about it? So I call him up, he's ghosting me, he's not taking my calls. I texted him, whatever. So I'm a little bit bitter about that, kind of mad. So anyway, I don't know, just thought I'd share that. But, and then, a pretty funny story. After after I beat his butt in the drag race, he goes out and swears off the Datsun, which became Nissan. Now he bought a Mustang, and then, I think I just read a story where he's like restored like a Fox body Mustang. It was pretty funny anyway. He went and bought it. Finally said, "Hey, the V8, that's the only way to go, baby." So anyway, here's the score. Let's put this one in the bank. Enough about the nostalgia from the past. Anyway, Vanilla Ice, oh, Van Winkle, delivering pizzas, sweeping the floor, light the stage and grab a broom by the handle. Oh my God. Anyway, his claim to fame is because of me. Just remember that, people. I said, wax a chunk like a candle. And he's like, Frosty, that's gold. Anyway, whatever. Let's put it in the bank, people. Let's give it the real deal. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. A little bit kind of put off by, Ice, my old buddy. I haven't talked to him in a while, but you know what? Hey, you pay me back, Rob, and we'll call it square. This one is that's 7.6. That's review.